a tornado is not moving side to side. It's coming right at you. This one is coming right at us.
Watch the door! We'll get ripped off!
Dude, we gotta go! Reed! Drive! Drive! All right, let's go forward! Go! You can see the tornado coming down.
That's violent!
Yes, it is. Oh, helical vortices! Right now, we got a violent tornado right over. See the helical configuration?
We're being 53 right here. Windows up. Drop down or not?
Go! We're going inside. Blast through. We're going inside it.
We're in it, guys. We're in it right now.
We're inside it!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 10th anniversary celebration live stream for Tornado Chasers. I'm Ken Cole. I am the executive producer for Tornado Chasers Season 2, and I am very honored to be here and excited to talk with so many of the great and talented chasers and crew who made the series possible. I know a lot of you are fans of this series, and I just can't wait to talk to everyone. I'm going to introduce everyone one by one. First up, Mike Scantlin. How you doing, Mike?
Yo, what up? I'm great.
Great
How
to
are
see
you, Ken? What a wild 10 years it's been. I can't believe it's been 10 years.
It's been insane. It's been incredible. It's amazing to see you. It's amazing to talk to you. And we can't wait to get into this with everyone else. And then also, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce someone who was behind the scenes a lot of the time until the El Reno tornado, that fateful day when he joined our chase crew. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Seth Deckard. Seth, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you, Ken?
I'm just excited. I can't believe I get the chance to talk to you guys again and go over this very pivotal series, which, you know, still is very near and dear to me. And let's keep this party going by introducing one of the chasers that you may have had a special connection with because he was brand new to chasing during the 2013 season. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll present the now veteran chaser, Bill Beach. Bill, how are you today?
Hey, I'm good. Yeah, it's crazy to think that it's been 10 years. Where's time gone? Anyway, that was a pivotal moment for me, and I chased for 5 years with Reed and some other people after that. So yeah, great.
It's amazing to have you with us, Bill. Thanks for joining us today.
Sure.
Also, you know him as a chaser, cameraman, and basically brilliant utility guy working on the Dominator. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to present Terry Rosema. Terry, how are you today?
Good. How are you guys? Good to see you all again.
Great to see you, Terry. I see you're very festive back there. It's very nice.
Yeah, we've got the tree up. We had it up the day after Thanksgiving, or started.
Great tradition.
Yeah,
it's great, man. It's so festive. I wanna be there, Terry. It's gives me the holiday spirit.
On a plane.
We might have to do that.
Anytime.
We'll have an in-person Tornado Chasers reunion. But ladies and gentlemen, we have some more people who are guests today. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him as the driver of the Dominators who's just thrown into it in the middle of the season 2. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to present Connor McCrorey. Connor, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. I'm happy to see all y'all. It's been way too long for some of you.
Yeah, it's great to see you, Connor. Wow. And you're in Texas now?
Yeah. So I've been in Dallas for most of the last 5 years, but just moved down to Austin with my girlfriend back this summer. So glad that summer's over because, man, it was so hot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, we're very glad you're here with us today. And ladies and gentlemen, our final guest for now, you may have heard of him before, Epic Storm Chaser. He's been doing this a long time. And the star of Tornado Chaser Season 2, ladies and gentlemen, it's Gizmo. And Reed Timmer. Reed, how are you today?
Doing well. Thanks for having me. It's really good to see everybody here. It's been a long time since I've seen some of you, but those 3 most important words: never stop chasing. Gizmo's doing good too. She was about 4 years old at the time that we were doing the show, and I know that Ken, I know you have the clip of Joel running after Gizmo at the golf course too. That'll be good to see. Gizmo's still really fast, still lively. She's got kind of a cloudy pancreas, but other than that, she's doing really good. She just retired from storm chasing about a year ago, and she ended up being in a Category 5 hurricane and saw like 100 tornadoes over the years. So Gizmo's enjoying retirement here at my mom's place.
Wow. Well, thank you all for joining us today in Gizmo, and we hope Gizmo feels better with her pancreas.
I'm glad you gave us Gizmo's stats. I was about to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of tornadoes and even flash floods too. And I think she saw a lot of those tornadoes with you guys.
She's like 13 now, right? Something like that.
Yeah, she's 13. Yeah, I remember in 2015 she was in the house there in Norman too when it got hit by that tornado directly when Connor and I were in the wrong storm that day.
Yep, sure were.
Me too. Me too.
We got a few little noodles.
In the backyard, and then that lightning strike happened, and she flattened like a pancake, and then ran through the doggy door.
Great instincts.
Great instincts.
So Reed, just to bring everyone up to speed and everyone who's watching right now, obviously you've probably all seen Tornado Chasers. A very interesting series. Reed, you had the idea to do this series after Discovery Storm Chasers. Can you kind of take us back in time and explain to us what was your idea behind the Tornado Chasers series?
Well, I think after doing Storm Chasers with Discovery, we wanted to try our own concept, which was a little bit more of a realistic depiction of storm chasing and life on the road. And I know, Ken, we worked with you on Tornado Glory and Tornado Fury over the years in 2003 and 2007. And so it was just a natural fit to do Tornado Chasers, kind of a continuation of our previous series. And we had Chris Whiteneck, too, one of our camera operators that came from Storm Chasers that was in the Dominator all those years. He was with us. And also we picked up a new camera operator, too, Jason Bagsby. I know we'll hear from him, too. And it was awesome working with you, Ken. And also my best friends were on it too, with everybody out there, and meeting Bill through the Tornado Chasers series was awesome. Bill became a best friend too, and work with all of you was awesome. And I wish we could have done more seasons since then. We'd be on like season 10 right now if we kept cranking them out.
I know, just an incredible series, and all of you played such an amazing role in either season 1 or season 2 or both. Mike, can you tell us about how you got wrapped into this Tornado Chasers show?
That's a great question. Well, I remember it was like 2012 or around the 2012 time when Joel decided he didn't want to drive that there were different goals in mind. So Dick McGowan started driving and they needed a new follow vehicle driver. And, I had just like 10 minutes before I got the call, I remember I was at Whataburger with Connor and Andrew Newcomb whenever I got a call from Dick McGowan asking if I wanted to drive the follow vehicle in 2012. And, I had just been let go from an oil and gas job like 10 minutes before that. So it was just, great timing. And, I'm happy to have been a part of it. And it turned into, so I didn't, the series, I turned out so much better than I thought that it would. 2012, not so much. Not a lot of tornadoes that year. Just that year was such a grind. Not a lot of chasing that was worth being on camera. But, I just kind of happened to be living in Norman at the time and just kind of lucked into it by knowing, the best storm chasers in the world and getting to tag along.
Wow. Well, we're glad that you're a part of the show. Very memorable part of the show, as everyone here is. And I want to throw it to Seth, because Seth, you started with kind of the programming aspect, but you quickly got wrapped into the actual chase team on one of the most pivotal days in history.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you could say I'm kind of like behind the scenes. Say like maybe the guy in the chair, except for I guess in storm chasing, everybody's sitting on their butts. Yeah, so I came out for El Reno, which is one of the biggest days. So I guess you could say I just come out for the big days and that's it. but it was really exciting. It was an incredible time.
That's great. Now, Bill Beach, you were one of the backers for season 2, and so you came into the series hoping maybe to see a tornado. Can you tell us about your anticipation before that season?
All right. So I grew up in Oklahoma. Always loved storms and weather. As a kid, saw 3 tornadoes out west. I grew up in Clinton, Oklahoma, and so I had followed like all the show, Discovery show, and so when you guys were doing the Kickstarter campaign, I was like, I'm doing this. So I put my money down, and then I had already paid for it, and I went to my wife and said, is it all right if I go storm chasing for a week in a couple months? And she's like, yeah, I think so. I was like, good, because I've already paid for it. I'm already doing it. But yeah, so what a crazy week. We get picked up at the airport, and then within 2-3 hours, we're on that Youngsville or whatever, Texas tornado. And then from there on, it was game on every day. So pretty incredible. Yeah, but fantastic. What an experience. More than I got my money's worth. Let's put it that way. That's for damn.
You were the good luck charm.
Right.
We needed
honestly.
We need you back.
Well, the funny thing is, Reed had texted me. He was, because we kept like waiting for the perfect setup, right, for us to come out. So I had been in Oklahoma because I had family there. I had been in Oklahoma for almost 2 weeks, and Reed would text, not maybe next week, maybe next week. Oh yeah, this is the week. And so I had been there waiting for it for the perfect conditions, and we got them. That's for dang sure.
Yeah, you came out just in time. Well, great to see you, Bill. And Terry, tell us about how you got involved in this Tornado Chaser series.
Yeah, originally it was with the build and the design of the Dominators. I used to be a golf course maintenance guy, and I had some medical problems come up, and I lost my eyesight and lost my job. And it was just perfect timing that Reed needed some help with the Dominator builds at that time. So I started out with that and came out when they were filming Storm Chasers, the Discovery Channel series, and was part of the support, and maintenance for the vehicle. And you can never have too many cameras, in people's hands out there. So they gave me a camera, and one thing led to another. I started getting good at that and editing video. And when Storm Chasers ended, the next, thing to do was to hop on and help out where I could with Tornado Chasers. So I pretty much self-taught myself how to edit video and, take photo and do video and stuff like that. So anywhere I could help, I tried to learn, what I needed to do.
And Terry was so well known too, not only for his mechanical skills, but his hair too. Terry, you want to talk about the evolution of your hair, kind of how it's
no, I mean,
this more
now
mature style?
it's just time to get rid of the frosted tips, I think. So
When did you get rid of them?
I held on to them for way too long. Maybe they'll come back around again, and I might have to get them again here soon.
How long has it been since you made the change?
Oh, geez, probably. When do you think, honey? When did I? Probably 2013, 14.
Really?
Yeah.
We got to see the end of it. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I'm glad we were there for it, though.
They
Right.
should spit out in the crowd. The frosted tips. I can see them.
I think we should all do frosted tips for this upcoming spring, just in remembrance of Terry.
I'm tip challenged though.
It's an homage.
How many of you guys had COVID beards? I did that for a little bit too. That was a little stint that didn't turn out very good.
I don't think my beard counted as a COVID beard. It was just kind of a beard.
Yeah.
Oh, the COVID
I could grow for 6 months and it wouldn't look like Connor or Ken. It would be less than that after like 6 months. So.
Mike, I was just in the bathroom cleaning up, my facial hair before we did this, and I was wondering if you even have to shave.
Yeah, I do, but this is like a week right here. This has been a week.
It's all neck. It's all neck beard.
There was a point in time where people were asking us to grow beards to look more manly for storm chasing pitches, and Reed would text me and be like, "Can you grow a beard?" But no, I can't. Look at this. This is all I got. This has been 2 months. This is all I can do.
I had some serious patches.
Well, let's see it. I think I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah, I kind of looked like an old gold prospector or something.
I can see that.
Bare knuckle boxer.
I think Terry's without a doubt the toughest of the group.
Oh, for sure.
Not anymore.
Well, Connor,
I've gotten soft.
Connor, you mentioned your beard. It's looking incredible. That
thanks.
grooming has really paid off. Looks amazing. Can you tell us, because you actually, people I think saw you become involved with the show actually on the show. Can you talk about how the heck you got dragged into being a driver of a Dominator?
Yeah, definitely. Man, it was so weird. I'd been chasing for about 5 years before that point. And I had met Reed and then, everyone else through Mike. Reed and I had like bumped into each other at gas stations here and there in the years leading up to it. But, I wouldn't blame him if he didn't remember who I was, especially, back that was like all during the Storm Chasers days. So I know Reed was constantly meeting people that wanted, to get his autograph or whatever. And so Mike, after having joined the team in 2012, which is coincidentally right when I had started chasing with Mike, he ended up introducing me to Reed, and then I met everybody, and it turned out we got along, and we would hang out at Reed's house and forecast, and especially that 2013 season was super, super slow for a while, so we weren't doing a lot of chasing. It was more just kind of hanging out and looking at models and waiting for something to come around. And then sure enough, that, second week of May, I still remember the night we were sitting at Reed's house looking at the GFS, and it clicked. It was like, this is it. So, we knew we were heading into a really active period. I was working at Pizza Hut, as I believe is mentioned in the series. And
you delivered pizzas in the Dominator, right?
Yeah. I think Mike did that too.
That was me.
Yeah, we had some interesting times at the pizza joints. But one day, May 17th, I remember, I wasn't planning on actually chasing with the team at that time. We were just kind of hanging out. And then Mike gave me the phone call that morning that they needed a driver. And, I no called, no showed at Pizza Hut for like 4 days in a row. And,
the best 4 days you could possibly have missed.
Oh yeah, totally. I still remember it was after the night we spent in College Station, we were driving back to Norman, and I got a phone call from this girl that I worked with, and she asked if I was ever coming back to work. I was just like, no, sorry.
Would they have let you come back?
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, we had that run there with the Cora, Kansas tornado. Remember, we got stuck in the mud, and probably preventing us from getting an intercept there. Those muddy roads, and then after El Reno, you put the Dominator 1 into a flat pancake spin.
Yeah, sorry about that, Ken.
Where's that behind the scenes footage? Yeah. No.
Oh, we've got so much behind the scenes footage. It's insane. I think that episode 9, the one where you guys got stuck, the Cora, Kansas, I think that low key might be like one of my favorite episodes, if not my favorite episode. I love that episode. That's incredible. Well, Reed, I want to throw it back to you. I was wondering if you can kind of give us your perspective and memories of season 1 of Tornado Chasers, and then going into season 2. And like where they kind of sit in your memory compared to other seasons.
Well, season 1 was 2012. So as Mike said, it was definitely a little bit on the inactive side. It was kind of a La Nina year, and a lot of drought conditions were dominating the plains. But we still were able to squeeze out a lot of tornadoes, and we were working with drones back then. We had Todd Daly that was building drones, and he was always capable of some really incredible jokes too. Including the one where he'd come out wearing his blue jeans. He'd be like, I'm wearing my favorite pants, the one with the pockets cut out of them. but Todd would make those drones, the quadcopters, and we were one of the first people to have drones out there. And I remember we tried to get one into a tornado in eastern Wyoming. It was pretty active in early May, and we were really close to that beautiful tornado. And also the big dust buster up in North Dakota, just south of the Canada border, was a pretty crazy intercept as well in 2012. But it was definitely a tough season, but it still felt like kind of a continuation of the previous seasons with our friends out there storm chasing and intercepting and doing great science. But obviously 2013 was insane because of that 2 to 3 week period in May, starting with Young County down in Texas with the multiple vortices, the helical vortices near the ground, and it had that really loud roar to it too. And that was when we really started thinking that these could be capable of winds even up to the speed of sound, I think. And we ended up missing the Roselle, Kansas tornado, unfortunately, but saw all the other ones. The May 19 tornado with Jim Cantori was an awesome intercept, where we picked him up on the side of the road from the airport and then got that intercept like 5 minutes after picking up Cantori. And then we had that lady in the HOA too that was obsessed with Cantori's hands. You may remember. And things ended up going south a little bit with the HOA. We ended up being kicked out of that neighborhood in the end. So that kind of.
Oh, really? I didn't know you were kicked out.
Yeah, I ended up right when I was trying to get married. I ended up getting sued by the HOA in about 2015, and the people that were renting the house got into some problems, and somebody went and spray painted phallic symbols on garage doors in the neighborhood, and then put a note in the mailbox and said the storm chasers did it. And so we were kind of set up. We were set up by somebody in the HOA.
Totally
So,
was HOA, wasn't it? Wow.
Yeah, and the old president, I think, was reelected. That one that we had the problem with, and then yeah, but we weren't perfect either. I mean, launching fireworks, inside the house and everything, and the Dominator stalling out in the driveway as well. I think was kind
TBN was cut out for an HOA.
How we deserved it.
What 10 years ago, I was young enough to think that you were just being paranoid with all the HOA stuff.
Yeah.
But now that I'm an adult, almost kind of an adult, I think that you were right. They were definitely spying on you.
Oh yeah,
the lady who came to wash your dishes out of the blue, definitely involved.
Yeah.
The spray painting, no, that's some weird stuff. You could write a second book out of that.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Things got weird there in the neighborhood. Sold the house, and then Gizmo and I lived on the road for the next 7 years or so, chasing everything. She even went through Hurricane Michael too. She was in the passenger seat of the Subaru during Hurricane Michael. She didn't like that because of the pressure falls and everything were kind of bothering Gizmo a little bit, but she didn't chase us regularly back in 2013. I think we thought it was kind of bad, or that we might get in trouble with PETA for trying to intercept with Gizmo on board.
I got my first photo with her next to a tornado in 2014.
Yeah. 2014, she chased in the Dominator 3.
Yeah.
Coleridge and all those. So
it was a good run too.
She bounced back today. She had a issue with the pancreas a couple of days ago, and then she bounces back really, really fast.
Mm-hmm.
But during Thanksgiving, she had a little too much turkey and some of her old diet. I mean, she used to eat McDonald's chicken nuggets and everything too during the pandemic. She ate a lot of bad food, so she's pretty much eating like a human most of her life.
Yeah.
But yeah, during the pandemic, she would just, start going to the bathroom all over the car and everything because we were sleeping in the car initially when it first went down. But it was, I think, those McDonald's chicken nuggets that probably clouded up her pancreas. But she's doing good on the Hills prescription diet now. So, and so she likes the gravy, and it was a miracle that she ate it. I put down the Hills diet, and she just started slurping it right up.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you wonder what they put into that stuff. Seth, you got to talk about the El Reno when we ran into those power lines. That was pretty intense, don't you think, up there on that day, 2013?
Oh yeah,
yeah, definitely.
I was hoping that would come up.
Yeah.
So Seth, you were in the car when that happened, or in the Dominator. What's your memory of that?
Yeah, I was I was in the back seat, and Chris Whiteneck was sitting next to me, and recording, getting footage, and I just kind of like I just remember everybody's like kind of shouted or something right before impact, and actually we were kind of buckled up, and we had just unbuckled our seatbelts, and to basically switch seats, because he wanted to shoot out of the other window, and so we were just like crossing seats, with each, trying to get to the other side, and then that's right when it happened. It wasn't like it wasn't really like a crazy impact or anything. It was just kind of like surprising, and then it was Sean Chauffeur was saying we're stuck. He couldn't get it out. He was trying to put it in reverse and drive forward a little bit, and then I remember him saying something like, we're going to need to call 911. And he was an ex-firefighter. So I was like, oh yeah, this is and I'm thinking these power lines are live, and that they're just like, and there's like no, if we try to get out, we're going to get electrocuted. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And eventually he just, after just backing and forth in it, he was able to get us out of it, and it ripped the hood off the Dominator. Yeah.
Might have prevented us from intercepting that tornado. We were kind of in the process of hook slicing it there right in the western periphery of the circulation, so that power line might have come in handy. I think that the Dominator probably could have handled it if we dropped down into the ditch there, I think. But yeah, who knows? When we were coming in from the backside, that was right when it was doing its left-hand turn, when they a lot of times intensify even more.
Yeah, I remember doing an interview with the Weather Channel after that, and there was a lot of confusion, I think, how that hood got ripped off. And I remember after the interview, they were like debating on air, like, how is that possible that the hood could be ripped off? And I don't know. But that was an interesting day, because that was it was murky at that point. Don't you think about like what was going on visually? And, Reed, I know you've said before about how it kind of felt anticlimactic at that point in the chase.
Well, also we had the Bennington intercept a little bit before that. That was probably the most extreme intercept we've ever had, and it was a stationary tornado that did the loop, and we were deploying probes along a fence line, and it ended up taking out the whole fence line. And Sean and I went and ran on foot to the north side of the tornado, and we were cigarette smokers back then too, so we were a little out of shape, and we were trying to run back to the car all out of breath. And Sean said he almost had a heart attack because the tornado started wobbling north, and we were inside the north side of the tornado. And I remember before we went out there, I told Connor, come pick us up if this tornado comes north. And I think Connor, he didn't come pick us up, so we had to run all the way back to the Dominators.
I swear I never heard that. I don't know if you didn't say it loud enough or if I just missed it, but
might have said maybe said it to Terry.
To the guy that doesn't drive.
Yeah, I think Terry might have forgot. I was like, Terry, come pick us up if this thing wobbles north.
I heard it.
And then like the 1.5 mile tornado expanded, and the winds were probably like 95 miles an hour, and we were trying to run into it. We were leaning into the wind, and it was just after we launched the shoulder-mounted air cannon into the north side of the tornado. So the whole point in going to the west was just to get to the northerly inflow so that the probes would get carried into the tornado. And I think we got some probes into that tornado, but we were never able to recover them because they got piled up with a bunch of cattle carcasses. So there was a big pile of cattle, I guess, at the middle of that stationary tornado. But that's why El Reno felt so anticlimactic a little bit, was because Bennington was so extreme, I think. And then Cora, Kansas a little bit before that. Gizmo, look, it's Cat. Kitty.
You got Mr. Kitty here.
Yeah, Gizmo's not a fan of Kitty because she thought she was a dog initially and was like rubbing against her and everything, and then Kitty jumped like 5 feet up to the ledge, and Gizmo realized she wasn't a dog.
What kind of dog is that?
Yeah, she went berserk, but they coexisted for a few days. Remember that?
Yeah, they coexist fine. I think Gizmo was just shocked to see that you know, a dog can't jump up onto a kitchen counter from the floor, especially not a dog the size of this cat or Gizmo. And yeah, I mean, he just launched up and she went nuts.
Gizmo likes everything except for birds and rodents, so she doesn't like mice either.
She doesn't like
Yeah.
snakes. Remember when you had that snake musk on you? She was going crazy.
Yeah, she went nuts about the snakes. Yeah, she went crazy with the king snake. And speaking of HOAs too, the HOA here at my mom's place is targeting Gizmo and I too. They're trying to say that that Gizmo is leaving turds in this lawn, and I always pick up Gizmo's turds. They're about the size of a Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
And even if I don't bring bags, I barehand them or I take a leaf, you know, and wrap it around and everything. And she doesn't even have a sidewalk over there. But yeah, I think it's something about the way, you know, Gizmo just and I walking out there that I think people decide to attack us. I don't know what. Look at Bill's dog.
Right? This is Moxie.
Whoa, that little puffball.
Moxie's cute.
Wow.
This is a
Hey,
standard.
I was going to ask, were you guys pretty much the only chasers that were west of El Reno? I remember that. Is that correct?
There weren't many other people over there. I think most everyone else was a little farther east when it first developed. There were some chasers that were kind of like straight south of where we were on the other side of it.
Mark Dillard was out there, I think, with
Yeah.
Channel 4. He was out there pretty early. Remember, there were two storms, the one to the north, and then the southern one kind of disrupted its inflow, and that one was about to produce a tornado. And then the southern one kind of became the big tornado producer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and people who've seen the series, what's really interesting is obviously we were on there like pretty much at the beginning of the El Reno tornado, and I have a clip here from Reed and Seth's perspective. I want to play it and get your guys' reaction to it.
Right there! Suction vortex! Right there! Vortex. Suction vortex.
Well, two of them, multiple vortices, multiple vortex. There's one
Multiple
right there,
big time tornado now.
So yeah, what was that like, Seth and Reed, seeing that finally come down?
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. There was like, you know, a lot of detail and structure you could see at that point. It was very, very exciting. Yeah. You know, adrenaline was definitely peak levels right there.
Yeah, I think it was interesting that it touched down as a multiple vortex and then kind of maintained that personality through the whole entire life cycle as a big multiple vortex that just kind of grew in scale after that, with those initial jet-like vortices initially. And it was such a mesmerizing tornado, almost like, you know, ghosts just dancing around. And you were so mesmerized by the tornado that you weren't even aware that softball-sized hailstones were falling. So they started zinging by. I remember they were hissing in the sky when we were trying to manage the Channel 4 live stream and navigate around the tornado. So I think we definitely got lucky to kind of, you know, dodge the bullet out there because we were managing so many things with the science mission, the live stream, the reporting for Channel 4, the multiple Dominators. So we were definitely, you know, juggling a lot of hamburgers on the grill.
Well, right. And the science mission played a part of this whole season. I asked you all for memories that you enjoyed for the season that you wanted to talk about. And Terry, you brought up a couple that were related to the science mission. The first was kind of like a funny moment, and it's a moment that maybe not everyone witnessed. This was up when you guys were chasing, and the launcher. This was a mishap with the launcher, and I'd like to play that now, Terry, and get your guys' reaction.
Oh wow!
There it is, right down the middle.
Oh.
That was loud, dude. That blew out the windows almost. Are you kidding me?
Almost.
That's not a problem. We just cover it with duct tape.
Flex stick.
Flex Seal.
Flex Seal.
Flex tape.
Yeah, I wish it was in back then.
but that's part of the science mission, right? You have to take risks. You're in uncharted waters. Things sometimes happen.
I remember when Justin White, the potato gun, had a mishap and blew apart and went into his leg, and he had that big ring that got all swollen like a baseball.
Wow. Well, this season, no one got hurt, right? In the second season,
As far as I know, I don't think. No.
Bring Gizmo down really quick. Be right back.
Where was that the
Well,
window got blown out? Was that up in Nebraska, like Alliance or something? Like,
I'm so bad
I
with
think so.
town names of
I
stuff.
think it was. It
It
was the
makes
day
sense.
after we stayed in Lincoln,
hmm.
so it was up. It was up there. What about whenever you guys were stuck in the mud until like 4 a.m. and they had all those big monster trucks trying to pull you out?
Oh,
The chain snapped and busted out the guy's back windshield.
that was insane. Ken, I'm sorry I didn't get back to your message asking about memories earlier. I was honestly just thinking about the whole season, and it was like there were way too many to choose from, and
yes.
it was
That
just
was
such a crazy run.
That was the only time I think I ever legitimately got mad at Connor, was that night that they were getting towed out by the monster trucks and all that stuff.
I meant to send that as my favorite memory. Is Terry the next morning scolding them.
I made it a point every chase that those guys had everything they needed, and I knew I packed a tow strap in there, and they were sending out like all these other chasers like way out of the way to go find them tow straps. And I'm like, you guys, I know I packed one in there, and they were just so excited about the tornado that they couldn't stop and look for it long enough.
We're still like that, by the way.
Sounds about right.
And then the next morning in the hotel parking lot, when Reed was like, "Are you mad at us?" and he was like, "I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed."
And then I dug in and found the tow strap, and I said, it was right here.
The father figure we needed.
Are you talking about when we got stuck in the mud out there?
Yeah, I said I was saying that was the only time I probably really only really got mad at you that one time.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, I deserved it, but yeah, it was tough out there, wasn't it? Out there all night, and then all those locals appeared with trucks with Corvette engines, and they're drinking handles of Jack Daniels, and then they blew out the back of their window because they were using a chain. Remember, they had a chain connected to the back, and it popped and then shattered the back window.
Mm-hmm.
We were out in the middle of nowhere. I just felt so bad because we had all these guys that barely could afford gas money to chase, and they're out running around trying to find us tools and things.
Yeah, I think our buddy Brandon Kopic was helping out back then when he was.
Him and Aaron, I think.
He's always helping.
That was the last night we saw Tim too. That night.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Right after the court intercept, and that tornado too. I think the tib was directly inside that one. They have a crazy tornado intercept from that EF4 tornado. So that's probably one of the most extreme tornado intercepts ever recorded.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was it seemed like we had forever until we didn't. We had photo ops for days, it seemed like, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh crap, we stayed too long.
Yeah. Well, what do you think, Ken? Do you think we should do another season of Tornado Chasers this year on the 10-year anniversary?
Yeah, it's interesting. We have a thank you so much, Chris, for the super chat. Now that the A team is here, what are the chances of you making another documentary with Reed? Yeah, it seems to be and I know a lot of you in the chat have asked this. I don't know. What do you guys think?
2013 making that, second season, even though I kind of got into it not even understanding that we were filming a show. I was just there to chase, but it's still one of the highlights of my entire life. That whole run was just amazing. You guys, I love you guys. It's so great to see, your faces, those of you that I haven't seen. So I'm on board anytime.
Sure.
Me too.
I agree 1,000%. How lucky were we to be shooting a show about tornadoes in those 10 days that were probably some of the best tornado chasing days that have happened in the last 20 years. It's just unbelievable.
The craziest 2 weeks of tornadoes, man.
With such a great production crew, just not just any person holding a camera, but with professionals handling the footage, editing the footage, doing things with it that people like me can't do with it. We're lucky, but it was also, it was on purpose. So just, I'm happy to have been a part of it. Like Connor said, I think about it all the time, how lucky I am to have been a part of this. And, I consider you guys some of my best friends, and I can't believe it's been 10 years. That blows my mind. But, in some ways it feels like yesterday, and in other ways, it feels like 20 years. But, I would gladly be a part of anything any of you ever want me to be a part of.
Same.
Ever.
Ditto.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we should do it, Ken. That's what it sounds like.
It kind of does. And someone read. Well, I mean,
could we have a smaller production window?
Smaller one? Yeah.
That's a toughie.
Terry's only got 4 days for us.
Yeah.
I still think we need to build the new Dominator, Terry, that's shaped like a pancake. Kind of like a saucer, that's not vulnerable from the side or anything, that could anchor down. I think that's something that's shaped a bit kind of like a UFO, or
maybe get some quantum physics involved.
Yeah, definitely.
The Grays.
Seth, we could bring back the TVN live platform.
Seth,
yeah, why not?
Why not?
All right, I want to play something. It's a video of someone who also was a big part of Tornado Chaser Season 2, and he wanted to say hi, even though he couldn't be here. This is Jason Bagby. He's a shooter producer for Tornado Chaser Season 2. So let's hear what he has to say.
Hey Ken, hey Reed, hey everybody. Jason Bagby here. I wish I could be there in person to celebrate in real time, but I have to work today. So you guys, I can't believe it's been 10 years since the 2013 season we shot our Tornado Chasers in. Absolutely unbelievable experience. I feel so blessed for someone with me with no practical storm chasing experience to be thrust into that position in the Dominators, following Reed, Dick, Ken, Connor, Sean Schaefer, Terry, just some of the greatest storm chasers there are out there, and one of the most prolific seasons that we've seen since. I mean, every single time we went out, it was either, long track tornado through Mustang, or a baseball bat right above my head, baseball size hail. We saw some magnificent storms. Bennington stands out. El Reno, just being in the position, looking back and having been one of the closest people in proximity to that El Reno touchdown, a tornado as it formed and started touching down. It was just this carousel of these vertices going around. It was maddening, and I'm sure it's not like anything I'll ever see in my life again. So thank you guys for bringing me on. Thanks, White Neck. Thank you guys, Reed and Ken, for trusting me to do that. I'm really proud of what we did, and again, I wish I could be there to celebrate with you guys, but do enjoy, and never stop chasing.
Love you.
There it is, those 3 most important words.
There you go.
There's a 0% chance that Bagby would come back, though, by the way. He would never chase with us again.
Yeah, he almost walked off after the Bennington day. I remember the tornado was coming at us, and I told Bags, I was like, don't worry, we'll just hide in the ditch if it comes at us. I remember his eyes got about that big. He realized that there wasn't too much safety protocol out there right in that moment. There was, though, of course, Ken. I know that you followed the safety protocols. So
as much as he could have. Yeah.
No, I talked to him shortly after that. And it was just like he was on adrenaline. He couldn't find the words. I knew something intense had happened, but I don't think I got the full story till a little later. But it was he still talks about it. I think that was a life-changing moment for him.
That's probably the closest I've ever come to really having an issue, I think, with a tornado. Maybe next to Canton, Texas in 2017, but
yeah,
I think that was probably the closest, just because we were separated from the vehicle and everything too. But then it ended up kind of being a wobbler, and we could have. I wish we could have recovered that camera system that got picked up by the tornado. Remember, we ran into Petrowski right afterward too.
Yeah,
right.
He took control of the search.
If anyone was going to find it, it's Jeff.
And Ken, you were able to convince Bags to come back after that, right?
Yeah, I was. I listened. I think he just needed to know that. I mean, that was an extreme situation, and he made it. He made it through just fine, and it probably wouldn't be any worse than that in the future. And he did a great job.
He was he was a vegetarian too, so he a lot of times we weren't able to kind of cater to his diet. Remember, we were eating a lot of fast food, a lot of gas station burritos, the usual Team Dominator diet.
Yep. Nothing that comes from the ground.
Yeah, stuff didn't fare too well in the cooler out there.
I'm still on that diet, you guys.
Bean burritos.
Machine.
Yeah, I'm still here, a little slightly pickled, but still chasing.
You got to have the right amount of preservatives to thrive in the world nowadays, right?
Yeah, just got to eat a lot of McRibs. And to eat enough McRibs so they send you a varsity jacket.
High fructose corn syrup.
Get a jacket with Terry on it.
I'd wear that.
I would.
This shirt, but with Terry's face instead of Gizmo.
Oh, yeah.
I want that shirt now.
It'd be my second favorite shirt after this one.
There is shirts with Gizmo. Oh, yeah, you have it on. There's a Gizmo shirt. Nice.
She is.
I miss Gizmo. She used to spoon with me every night. I slept on a blow-up mattress on Reed's floor, and I was easy access for Gizmo.
Oh, yeah. And she's such a little cuddle bug. She's such a sweet little bean.
Yeah, she loves to snuggle. She still does, that's for sure. So she hasn't changed a bit. She is starting to lose her vision a little bit in the left eye, but I'm going to get her the cataract surgery this winter, so she'll be back.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Good.
Terry, I saw you had a cat walking around there.
Yeah, he's somewhere. He's a little bit spoiled. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Same.
So, Bill, are you going to go chasing this spring, do you think? There's a lot of
I'm game. I'm definitely game. Yeah, you want me to drive? You want me to do whatever? It's crazy because this whole series started me 5 years in chasing.
Yeah.
You always come out for the really good stuff too. Like every time that you've come out, even in those years between now and Tornado Chasers, it'd be like,
I know it'd be something.
I'd text Reed the night of or the day after, and you'd go, yeah, Bill was there. Man.
Yeah,
Bill
that's how we need to do the next season if we do it. Just come out for the good stuff, right?
Well, I think it was Reed was in 2015. I came to your house, parked my rental car. We jumped in, we went chasing, and your house got hit by a tornado.
Yeah.
My rental car got like $8,000 worth of damage, and the rental car company didn't cover it. My insurance didn't cover it.
Oh no!
Yeah, yeah, that was it. That was tough. Your insurance didn't cover it either.
No, it didn't, because the reason was because it was an SUV. If it wouldn't have been an SUV, they would have covered it.
Is that why you haven't been chasing as much the last couple of years?
You can't rent a car. Welcome to the club.
Right? You know what it was? We were chasing down near Hobart, I think, and we were in a rental car, and we were trying to outrun the tornado, and it hit us. And I was telling my wife all about it and was all excited about it. She's like, "You're not doing that again."
It's been a lot worse than that.
Right? That was just a little bird fart tornado.
Yeah, that 2015 season is the year that Gizmo was hit by the tornado too. Earlier that year, I think it was May 6, 2015, and then May 7 was the Mother's Day tornado when you got to chase with my mom and Gizmo.
That was so much fun.
I watched that video a couple days ago. I love that video.
You didn't even put the best part of the video on there.
Yeah, we had to talk
about Dingleberry.
Yeah, she said that. Can you verify that happened, Bill? Because I don't think Gizmo is so constipated all the time that there's no way.
I never saw it, but I just remember laughing so hard that I almost fell out of the car.
My mom says that you verified it and actually saw the Dingleberry.
Took a sample.
Yeah. Gave it a sniff, and you're like, "Yeah, that's a Dingleberry."
How's your mom?
Gizmo was in her lap, so I just trust her for that.
She's good. She's downstairs right now, so I think we're having meatloaf tonight, or tacos, or maybe. Yeah, so she's downstairs. I've been spending a lot of time here at my mom's place since the pandemic because Gizmo loves it here so much.
Your mom is retired, right?
Yeah, she's retired.
Nice.
Watches my nieces. My nieces are here, so she's being a grandparent quite a bit. But we are building a new. We're getting a new headquarters out in south of Norman though to store the Dominator. So
Oh wow.
trying to make another run on the whole Team Dominator thing.
Nice.
You guys are gonna have to come up and chase. Look at that, the weather store.
Where are the Dominators?
Thank
these
you,
days?
Weather Store.
Well, the Dominator 1, they're in a warehouse that we've been renting. So that's where Dominator 3 is, and 1 and 2. And 1 and 2 are kept outside for many years, but we got Dominator 1 running again this year. We just had to put a new starter box in it and got new tires on it. And then we caught it on fire. So there was a welder that was helping us out. And he was making sparks, I think, inside the warehouse, the same warehouse we used to rent back 10 years ago.
Oh,
And
wow.
we got a phone call that the fire department was out there and he was welding in there and caught the back end of the Dominator 1 on fire. So kind of just like the old days.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds like business
That
as
sounds
usual.
familiar. Yeah.
But it did kind of melt the back right corner a little bit, but I think it's nothing that we can't fix. And at least it is driving again. But we were actually out in Dominator 3 with Jordan and Sierra in Georgia. So we drove all the way to southern Georgia and then got that tornado. And we were on our way back when the fire happened. So, and Dominator 2, I think, just needs a new starter box, but it might need a little bit more because it's got all kinds of like shards on the inside of it too. There's a lot of like plastic shards in there for some reason.
I was just chasing with Mike a few days ago, and we were talking about the time Dominator 1 caught fire when we were taking it up to Michigan.
Yeah.
Sat on the side of in that parking lot at that like truck stop or whatever, just like banging.
In Sawyer, Michigan, right?
Sawyer sounds right. Yeah, like right across.
So a buddy of mine from Chicago texted me the picture of the Dominator sitting in Sawyer, Michigan. He goes, "This is right near my house." And what are you guys up there? I'm like, no. Anyway.
Logan, thank you.
Thank you, Logan.
Ran into him during the blizzard in Buffalo this past Christmas Eve with like 80-mile-an-hour winds and that Seish event, whiteout conditions.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
And was covering that pretty crazy blizzard.
Well, talking about the Dominators, season 2 of Tornado Chasers was the unveiling of Dominator 3. And I know, Mike, you said that was like a big pivotal experience to you. Reed and everyone, what was that like having a new Dominator? It seemed to be a coveted Dominator by Jim Cantori. He wanted to chase in it all the time. But did it get tested the way you wanted it to during season 2? What about that introduction of Dominator 3?
Mike.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I thought you were asking Reed.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Mike
no.
or Reed?
I'm reading the comments over here. No, well, it's just such a different build from Dominator 1 and Dominator 2, right? Just being a higher platform on an F-350 instead of on a Chevy Tahoe or Suburban. So it's got more ground clearance, but Kevin did some interesting things with like the outer edges of the shell with the pontoons that were removable and just the shape of the back of it. The fact that it's a pickup truck and not an SUV meant that it had more creature comforts in the front 2 rows of seating, but in the back it was, way more susceptible to water leaks. And, Dominators are Dominators. They're always going to leak water. They're always going to have dust getting into them. Just building custom vehicles that are airtight and watertight, it's very difficult to do. But it's just such a different monster than Dominators 1 and Dominator 2. And the fact that, I had seen the pictures of it as they were working on it and just the excitement of it getting there just in time for this incredible week of tornadoes was just a really good buildup for the show and just for me personally as a fan of the Dominators being built.
I do wish we could have Kevin on the show here tonight, Kevin Barton. We've been texting a little bit back and forth as we got the Dominator 3 back intercepting again this year, and we were stuck on the side of the road for like 14 hours. And Jordan and Brian and also Brandon Kopic and Vince and all those guys, Corey Gherkin came up and they were on the horn with Kevin and Curtis. all night trying to get it fixed, and it just ended up being that air compressor in the back. So we already had a new air compressor back there, and they got that running again after working on it for like 14 hours. But yeah, I think that the key with Dominator 3 was that we wanted it to look like Lance Armstrong's bike helmet and a cross between that and the stealth bomber to kind of achieve maximum aerodynamics, at least on the main axis of it. Sure. And Dominator 3 still going great today. Sean's chauffeur took great care of it. And we chased in it a lot over the years. We had the rocket launch too in 2019 with Mark. Mark Simpson got the sensors working again. So it'd be awesome if we could get out there and launch a bunch of sensors again in tornadoes, because if we have multiple sensors in the tornado, then we can start measuring gradients and everything out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
Hey, oh, what's that, Bill?
I was going to say, I mean, the science mission was always the thing that always like fascinated me. So what's new on the front on this in the science mission?
Well, it looks like the rocket paper is finally getting published. So we've kind of had some issues with getting it published. It's been 4 years since that rocket launch, but teaming up with Mark, who's chasing spin on Twitter, and he custom built the sensors that were capable of live streaming, and we were launching those into tornadoes. And we got one inside of a tornado, the Linwood, Kansas EF4, the year before the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And that's what the paper is about to get published on. So, and that was just one that got into the tornado, but it did 2 revolutions and went all the way up to the triple pause before falling down like 32 miles away from the launch point. So kind of what we've always been trying to do with the miniaturized sensors finally worked out in 2019. And the probe achieved incredible wind speeds, measured a pressure perturbation of negative 113.5 millibars just above the ground.
Unbelievable.
The dynamic pipe that got sampled with that one, and it achieved speeds equivalent to EF3 intensity too. So basically the high resolution GPS speed of the probe is equivalent to the wind speed with a tornado like that. And I've been working with Captain Vanover too on the drones. I see that Mike has some FPV drones back behind him, so we could launch some FPV drones around tornadoes too.
This is the Vanover Pro model right here. That's his. Yep. Yeah, but I crashed him a lot more than he does. He's way better.
Drone technology has come a long way since then. That's for sure.
Wild. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, everything has. I mean, I wish we would have had some of the 360 cameras that are available now, like back during tornado chasers and stuff.
Yeah, I remember
it's crazy looking back on just everything we did to, like, you know, all the attempts we made with the drones, some more successful, some less successful, and now we've just all got just a drone in our little bag. You know, it's crazy how far things have come in that time.
Speaking of which, I do have the behind the scenes footage of Ray crashing the plane drone into the truck in
College Station.
College Station.
I don't know if I remember that.
Oh man,
you might not.
I can't believe anyone remembers that.
After hours. I remember the hangover.
It was at 2 a.m.
It was a rough hangover.
Man.
Yeah, that was kind of a rough chase, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a fun night though.
That was a good night.
Mike broke my phone.
I did. Oh man.
Yeah, I was just down in that region just a couple of days ago for that storm chase down near Houston. And Connor and Mike were down there too. They were streaming on our platform. So we're doing a lot more with live streaming too. I'm working with Brian O'Toole, who was a producer of 2011 Storm Chasers. So he's working on our production quality too, on our YouTube and social media, and doing the live streams and everything. And yeah, he could definitely be an integral part of any future Tornado Chasers productions too that we're able to make happen.
I just found this picture of that night in the parking lot.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
White Neck and all you guys there in the Dominator. Yeah.
I remember the cop was there with us too. He was like, totally hanging with us.
Anyway. Thought we were getting in trouble for a minute, but
I know, but he just wanted pictures.
Didn't he trade hats with somebody?
Yeah, I think I'm still Facebook friends with that guy. He messaged me for a while after that. Still, like,
that's so funny.
I think a couple of nights before that was when Connor and Ken got to room together too, wasn't it? Remember that incident?
Oh,
that was Valentine, Nebraska.
That came a little later, actually.
I don't remember that.
Ken was like squinting his eyes, and then he saw Connor, who was trying to pee in the air conditioning unit.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was like, "What are you?" Now I remember. Yeah,
I
that's
don't
it.
sleepwalk anymore, by the way.
Connor used to sleepwalk back in the day. So when we were living in the Team Dominator headquarters, I was working at like 3 a.m, and then Connor just started walking out like a zombie and pulled down his pants and started peeing in the corner of the house.
I would only sleepwalk when I needed to relieve myself. So that
Like, Connor, what are you doing? And he didn't wake up. He just kept going.
It's been years. I haven't done that in a long time. I don't think, Maddie, have I ever done that with you? Like since we've been dating?
No, it evaporates probably.
You'll probably figure it out. No, she said she doesn't think I've done that since we've been together. So that's I'm at least 5 years in remission or whatever.
Good.
Proud of you.
Nice. Congratulations.
I bet it evaporates pretty fast. There's no way to know.
Ray Bohack says he traded the Weather Channel hat for the College Station Police Department hat. That's what I thought.
That's pretty great. I just saw that. I was going to mention.
Hi, Ray.
Hey, Ray.
Hi, Ray.
Hey, Ray. I tried to get a hold of you, Ray. If you want to jump on this live stream, just let me know or let one of us know, and we'll send you the link so you can join. So what would you say your guys' favorite moments from the 2013 season, Tornado Chaser season 2? What's the thing that sticks out to you most? What would you say? We'll go down the line, maybe starting with Terry.
Oh man. I mean, looking back on it, we had a blast, really. I might have seemed a little uptight during it, but it's because I was always like focused on getting our work done. But we did have a lot of fun. And then even some of the extracurricular stuff that we would do, like when we had downtime in between chases and we'd be in a cool area like North or South Dakota in the Badlands, or going to like my favorite thing was going to a Tigers Royals baseball game. And I got to actually enjoy the game instead of working on the Dominator for the whole game, which usually happened. But I got to take like close up photos of Justin Verlander and Miguel Cabrera, which were two of my like favorite players all time. So that was pretty cool. For me, being out and about, since I don't drive, being out and seeing the countryside too. I mean, that was major therapy for me because I was, sick before I started, going out with you guys. So it was awesome.
Wow. Seth, what was your key memory of season 2?
Yeah, I would say, the episode with, Jim Cantori and, and seeing him. That was the first time I've seen him in real life, and it was he's just a big personality. And then I think, the first chase was in Edmond, and then which actually, I was living nearby at the time, so it's kind of interesting.
Close to home.
Love the V-neck, Seth.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
I got a couple of V-necks myself.
Reed, what if you had a favorite moment from 2013, what would it be?
Boy, the whole experience. I think those storm chases in late May, definitely with Cora, the intercept ending in the mud there was an incredible experience. And then that in Bennington, like waking up in the Days Inn, and I was just sitting there eating my Subway, and I look up and see the anvil stream overhead, and it ended up being the Bennington storm that already fired just to the west, and seeing Tim Samaras the night before also. And then El Reno, of course, and just being with all my closest friends out there, doing what we love, doing science. Almost kind of felt like the final ride of all of us together. And even though we knew that our plan was to do more seasons, I think that it still kind of felt like we were putting all our eggs in one basket. I remember going out and it was definitely, I remember we ran out of funds the year before. Remember, we started crying up in Saskatchewan, Canada. So it was amazing that we're able to rally and then do it again in 2013 and run the Kickstarter. And thanks, Bill, too, for supporting us, for letting us make it happen. And Ken is so talented too. I've been working with Ken on most of the productions my whole career, going all the way back to our early 20s, back with the Tornado Glory series. And that was an awesome experience to work with you on Tornado Chasers. And yeah, thanks everybody for being a part of it. And I'd love to do it again.
Right.
Like Gizmo being a part of it too. Ken, I know that you got that footage of Gizmo running away from Joel. I'd love to see.
Yes. You guys might remember this from the show. Let's play this favorite moment of mine.
Some balls for us. Watch Gizmo. Gizmo. Come here. Don't be afraid, Gizmo. Hey, Gizmo. Gizmo. Gizmo.
There she goes.
Where in the hell?
Give her an inch, she'll take a mile.
Come here. Gizmo, come here.
Look at her go.
Oh yeah, he's really trying to. Look at him.
Gizmo. Gizmo.
That was great. And of course, we have to point out Joel. Joel Taylor, friend of all of ours. This was, I think, his last production that he was associated with, was Tornado Chasers. And I don't know, does everyone have a memory of Joel or something they'd like to share about Joel?
I think probably Gentle Giant was a good way of describing him. I mean, he was a super sweet guy.
Yeah, he was really sweet. A great friend too. Just the best friend anyone could ask for, and a great, incredible driver too. He got us up close to so many tornadoes, and we worked so well as a team too. Definitely, the way that he would get so close to those tornadoes. And one of my big memories was May 4, 2007, which was the last time that he ever let me drive. When we were coming south and softballs were coming out of the sky and the tornado was coming right up the road. And I remember him swearing at me, saying, where are you going to stop? Where are you going to stop? And we just kind of kept going towards the tornado. And then we stopped when the tornado was about to finally hit us, and we switched. Joel ran around to the driver's seat, backed us up out of there. But I kind of remember him just lecturing me, that was way too close, Reed.
I appreciated that about him too.
Yeah, I do miss getting lectured by Joel. I think we all need to, Joel always stand up, and definitely, tell it how it was, I think. And yeah, definitely be forever missed.
I know, most of y'all were definitely closer to Joel than I was, but I got to spend, pretty decent amount of time with him in the time that I was involved with the whole Tornado Chasers TV and Reed Timmer show thing. And, he was always just so friendly. And, Ken, you asked about if there are any memories that stick out. I bring this up often actually, but there was one night that Mike and Dick decided they wanted to go ghost hunting at the house that Joel owned in Oklahoma City. And I never believed in ghosts. To me, it was like there was just always some explanation for any ghost experience someone had. And then, but Mike and Dick decided to bring all their cameras up there, and I was like, what the hell? All right, I'll go. And, I hung out while Mike and Dick walked around for a couple of hours in Joel's dark house that he was getting ready to sell.
Yeah, he was selling it because he was tired of hearing people talking that weren't there.
Yeah.
And he was not a believer. Before he moved into this house,
Weird.
He was like, man, you guys are weird. That stuff isn't real. And he was like, I'm getting out of here. I'm done.
Right. So Mike and Dick wanted to go in it and check it out. And I thought, I'll go hang out with my friends. And they're there for a couple hours. Mike and Dick are walking around going hello, what do you want? Yelling to
That's
the
pretty much
spirit.
it. Yeah.
And Joel and I were just kind of sitting on this on these two couches. And in between the two couches, there was a large, heavy wooden framed painting that was leaned up against the wall. And while Mike and Dick were in another room, suddenly that painting, it sounded as though someone had lifted it from the wall and dropped it, and it knocked against the wall several times. And me and Joel both were silent for a second after, and then we're whoa, what was that? And Mike and Dick came in there stop messing with us, guys. We really could not explain what happened. And we checked, size seismographs from the area. There were no earthquakes. Like, we legit have no clue what happened. And I won't say that one experience turned me into a believer in ghosts, but it definitely put me a little more in the middle, just because, like, this is a house that was supposedly haunted.
It was unexplainable.
It was unexplainable. The guy who owned the house was, Joel was in my same shoes of having been a total skeptic and then basically convinced otherwise. So yeah, that's still a memory that I'll always have.
This is not what I expected tonight. Wow.
Speaking of Joel's dad, do you guys ever see him out chasing at all once in a while? Because I know he'd go out chasing too.
Yeah, I still run into Joel's dad. I know, but Bill and I ran into him in 2017.
We chased with him.
And nice.
It was you and I and Joel and his dad. And we intercepted the Elk City tornado. We were in 2 different cars though, but yeah.
Yeah, Joel was coming out of retirement there, 2017 into 18. So we saw him a lot with his dad out there. Joel chased 2, got the tornadoes in March of 2018 too, down in Northwest Texas, down near Anson, on March 28, I think it was. Yeah, but they were going to bring storm chasers back even in 2018, but they were passed. But it was all ready to go. Everybody had signed everything, I guess, and it was ready to get launched, and then they canceled it right at the last second. Discovery Channel again.
Oh my God! You want to talk about stories? There's so many stories from those days too. I have so much footage on mini DV tapes, like haven't seen the light of day.
Well, we should release some behind the scenes stuff from that, Terry.
Oh my God!
You probably got a lot too, Ken, to release. You could probably do a behind the scenes.
Oh, I have. I tallied how many hours of footage we have. Yeah. We have so much footage, and
like 200 hours or something more.
Oh, beyond. And there's so many days. There's a day where I stayed with Terry. You guys went chasing. This is when early in the season when there was just basically hail, no tornadoes. And I stayed while Terry rearranged Reed's house, cleaned it. And we filmed this whole story where Terry was cleaning the house, reorganizing things. And it ended with Terry in the hot tub, looking west, drinking, looking to where Reed and team were at that very moment, and reflecting. It was, no one's seen this footage, but it's like this amazing counter story.
Did you get folliculitis from that hot tub?
No, I cleaned the whole hot tub too. I was enjoying the fruits of my labor. I didn't dare get in that before I cleaned it myself.
That's very smart.
I think everybody eventually caught folliculitis from that thing.
I know I did.
I have an odd question for the group. How mad were you all at KOFR for sending us on the 20th more down to do a film shoot, right? Just hours before Reed had said, we don't need to leave the house. It's coming right here. And it did.
Yeah. Too many cooks in the kitchen.
As you're thinking of that answer, let me bring in another person who's there that day, Ray Bohawk.
Hey guys.
Ray Bo.
This has been awesome to watch. What a crew here. I'm just all the memories have been listening here, sitting and thinking. So it's just been amazing. Thank you. It's good to see everybody.
Yeah, love you. Great to see you, Ray.
He's back.
Man, so May 20th was kind of a marathon already, because we had the 3 days before that leading up to May 20th were just, I don't know if Reed slept 5 hours in those 4 days.
Right.
Because we drive to Western Oklahoma, come back, and then the 19th, the day before, was just those long chases that are so intense, and you see all these tornadoes, they take a big toll on you need to recharge the batteries, and then you wake up the next morning and Reed's on the morning show at KFOR. I think everyone was just spread a little too thin to put their foot down and say, we're not leaving. Right. Because KFOR wanted this helicopter shot of all the Dominators on the highway. And by the time we got into position to do that, there was obviously the helicopter wasn't going to be with us because there's an F5 tornado on the ground.
It was on the ground.
it happened so fast. I mean, when we were getting gas in Newcastle, we were
tornadoes.
right there. We were under those towers in Newcastle getting gas, and you know, people are doing backflips, and you know, it's just, it was a weird day. But you know, I'm not sure I would have wanted to have been there anyways. Like, the things that we would have ended up seeing are the worst things that happen on the planet. And as much as I would like to have seen that tornado, you know, I'm kind of glad not to have those memories of what we would have seen after.
Ken, if I think it was
Personally.
Ken maybe that had a family member that was in a kind of a questionable status. I know that you were kind of getting heads down focused, and we were all kind of trying to arrange rides back from people and figure out who can jump into what car and go where that day and get back quickly. And I think Ginger had to get back pretty quick too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all we had to do was set up a GoPro looking west out of the back of our house, and we probably would have seen it. It was what I think it was a couple miles from where we started the chase to that day. So
no more than 4.
I've kind of been blocking it out all these years, you know.
Yeah, me too.
But now that I think of it, I'm pretty pissed.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah,
I've been pissed for 10 years, so I'm glad you're there with me now.
Yeah, we were able to recover, I think, after that at the end of May.
Yeah, I mean, we had a great run. You know, it's hard to complain. And like Mike said, I mean, the stuff the aftermath in a scenario like that can be pretty horrific, and no one wants to see that. But we
if it's going to
could have
happen,
seen
you
it from
want
the
to
backyard too.
Sure.
So. Yeah.
That's rationalization on my part, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, Ray, what did you think of that moment? In the series, we see you're trying to get data. Obviously, everyone's in a data hole trying to get updates. You know, we see you holding up a picture from Fox News. What was that like for you? And I'll throw it back to Bill. You know, you've come all the way out to Chase, and we can't even really get information about what's going on.
Sure. Yeah. I don't specifically remember that moment. I just remember, I mean, I felt out of place on the 20th just because I was not from the area. So many people were directly impacted, and it was personal. And so it was just like, okay, how do we best handle this and be helpful and not be in the way, you know, things like that. I was actually thinking about kind of some memories, and the day before when we were out doing the search and rescue, and that dog was following us around, and there was the issue with that cow that had the fence post that everybody helped it. That was kind of one of the most memorable moments. And you know, for Bill and I and Kevin, we kind of had our bonding moment when we're leaving. That is, the adrenaline was wearing off, and just like, wow, okay, we've gone through something just amazing and crazy and unforgettable together. It's, you know, we knew we had a group of friends for life out of it after all of that. So, you know, I tend to remember those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And then we dropped south and got the Shawnee tornado too.
Right. That's right.
So when we did search and rescue in the Fallas tornado, I remember, I don't know if you got this on camera, Ken, but I asked, we were running back after we had gone to a couple of different houses, and I asked Scantlin, I said, so where does this rank in your weather experiences that you've had in your life? He said, this is by far and away number one. So I've never had anything like this.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
I remember that tree just launching straight up right in front of the Dominator 3.
Yeah.
Kind of really showed those vertical winds. And Cantori in the car too. Remember how ripped he was?
Yeah. He was.
How could you forget?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, that's a story that stands out in my mind.
I'll tell a story that maybe not everybody knows. I know Ray knows that. I think I told it, but the morning of the 21st, we were having breakfast in Norman at a place, Ray and Kevin and I, and I go out to the car to get something. The Dominator 1 to go get something, and this boy and his father were walking out, and he said, oh, I just wanted to see the Dominator, and I'm like, oh, cool, you know. And he said we've been displaced from Moore, and he said my son was actually in elementary school and got hit by the tornado. And and they were staying at a hotel across the street, and their house had been completely was gone. And he said, I just want to thank you for giving us warning and so on and so forth. And I just said, listen, you know, this is a hard moment for you in life, but take this as you survived, you're a survivor, right? And carry that through in your life. And I remember I came back into the restaurant after, and this kid was just smiles and bright eyed because he had seen the Dominator. I mean, he was just, it uplifted him.
He's going to be
And
one.
I was just in tears. I was crying. I came back in the restaurant and they were like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "You're not going to believe what just happened." So,
I remember that story.
I think I
Pretty
remember
crazy.
too. You also said they had been watching the live stream and had been kind of watching the things that were being relayed real time, and that made a difference to people as well. It was cool to hear that directly. It's something I didn't realize, frankly, coming into it, that what an impact that has for people.
Yeah, local. Being from Oklahoma, growing up here, local live storm coverage on your television is like the Super Bowl 5 times, 10 times a year, because and it's so much more important because it means so much for so many people because they're watching and their lives are at stake, literally, like so many times a year. Some years obviously worse than others, but these local weather personalities become like family members to these people. I mean, there are people with meteorologists on T-shirts in this state. It's a whole different ball game than a lot of other places. And everywhere gets severe weather, but it's a different world here in the Oklahoma City and Tulsa media markets, and Dallas, and probably Wichita as well.
Just to like reinforce what you're saying. I mean, I'm from Dallas, and like it's a way bigger deal in Oklahoma City even than it is in Dallas.
Right. Every station has a helicopter. Their helicopter pilots have million fan Facebook pages.
I remember going into Channel 4, and then the first thing you see is in the wall of the back room, "Win with weather."
Yeah.
Right.
They're like general manager come up, real firm handshake.
That's my new motto: win with weather. All right.
Win with weather. And sweeps
that's where they get all their ratings. All their viewership in Oklahoma City is during storm season. That's how they have all the tricked out storm chasing vehicles and helicopters and all that. And it's like watching Mad Max.
Yeah.
Dominator 4. Which hopefully we can get the Dominator 4 running again.
How does that thing smell inside? Does that smell like swamp?
Oh, it's bad. I think it's even toxic on the inside because it's been outside, and there's all these like shards of plastic just that's like 6 inches deep in there, I guess, as it's kind of deteriorated.
Did you really have to ask Terry?
We're talking about Reed's Subaru, right?
Yeah.
I was just surprised to see that thing come back to life.
It didn't come back to life. The hood did. I was able to get the hood back.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I had to get
the hood doesn't match the rest of the vehicle, though.
Yeah, I got
to have the same hood, right? Because
doing the disposable vehicle model now. Yeah.
So what do you guys think has changed since 2013 when we did Tornado Chaser season 2 about chasing, about media? What's different? What do you think would be kind of like a takeaway of someone watching it now?
The social media presence of storm chasers, and it's just exploded. I mean, there are so many people out there now just like really killing it, streaming to their viewers and stuff. And, I look back at the days of, when streaming was just getting started when I first started storm chasing, and, it was a good way to get an audience, but like there really are people out there, streaming to huge audiences and monetizing it. And, I'm happy to see that. I wish I'd taken more advantage of it myself, honestly, but, I'm happy to see that storm chasing is still alive and well. And they're, it is possible to achieve your dreams in a way that, was a lot more difficult, I would say, 10 years ago.
The real-time information that's coming in is almost too much, I think, because I think back in 2013, there was kind of the right balance of data availability, and you weren't really aware of all the other tornadoes that were happening on the ground, and you kind of get that a little bit of almost information overload now too. So I've kind of had to learn how to filter it out a little bit and kind of go back to chasing old school a little bit and not checking the phone as much. And so, yeah, the data availability has changed, and the technology for science too, with Mark being able to custom build the miniaturized sensors that are streaming data back and everything too.
We already touched on drone technology, how far that's come.
Sure.
The influx of new chasers. I mean, everybody with a driver's license now is storm chasing the team. So, and they're driving into tornadoes too. They're getting hit by these tornadoes head on. I think looking at radar a lot of times and just getting plowed by the tornadoes. I think one thing they're showing is that these tornadoes are maybe a little bit more survivable than we might have thought, in a lot of ways. But I mean, obviously they're not, because the worst case scenario is that it's way too
a Subaru will do the trick 99% of the time, right?
I mean, I'd
say probably 90. I mean, 80% maybe 60. Depends how strong. What do you gonna say, Connor?
I don't know. You just never know how it's gonna go. I mean, we've all had our close calls, our accidents out there. I've been hit by a couple tornadoes in the last couple of years, and one of them I haven't even told everybody about. It's a shame because I don't have any video from it. It was one of the most insane things I've ever seen in my life. But I made a mistake. I was relying on radar driving south at night, and I thought the tornado had already crossed I-35, and it hadn't. So I was looking to the left, thinking it was going to be moving away to my left, and it turned out it was just about to hit the highway. And so before I knew it, the thing that happened that told me that I was in the tornado was I watched the 18-wheeler in front of me just float straight up into the air and get flipped upside down and then slammed into the concrete. And that happened to 3 18-wheelers all around me. And fortunately, all the drivers were okay. 2 of them were pinned in their vehicles for a while. Kills me that I don't have any video of that, but it just goes to show that, I mean, you can make a mistake and survive it, but you never know when you're going to make that mistake and things aren't going to go so well for you. So
don't make a habit out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand why you guys did it, but it was never my cup of tea chasing at night. I never dug it when we did that.
I still never the reason I wasn't in Rolling Fork for the Rolling Fork, Mississippi tornado earlier this year was it was pretty evident that it was going to be a nighttime event. And I just I don't want to chase events anymore that I know are going to be after dark. It's different kind of if, what happened on that Waxahachie chase was I was already out there on the storm, and I'd already seen the tornado, and it was kind of on my way home. So I just kind of kept with it. And so, in those situations, I'll still chase at night, but I definitely, you got to learn lessons from something like that. I definitely made a big mistake. And night chasing you have to give it a little more cushion, be more careful.
Yeah, I still like chasing at night a little bit just because you can kind of use the wind direction. But I've had some close calls too with that Wiener tornado, the Wiener, Arkansas tornado on December 10, 2021, which we have a big trough ejection coming up. It looks like next weekend that some people are comparing to that event. But I think that was more of a tandem trough ejection that dug that closed low off the Baja there. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. But anyway,
did that become Mayfield, or was that the tornado right before?
That was the that was the one that became the Monette tornado. So the one that went through northeastern Arkansas, and then I think that the next one touched down further northeast of that. It was out just south of the Kentucky-Tennessee border, I think. That was a crazy night too.
Oh man!
Yeah, we had those 3 years of La Nina, so at least we're transitioning kind of to a period of El Ninos, or at least neutrals for a while. It's powerful El Nino out there now. Like nothing we've really ever chased, I guess. I mean, maybe 2015 is kind of similar with the warm North Pacific oscillation, but kind of a wispy El Nino. So 97, 98, I guess, was a powerful El Nino, but there wasn't a warm North Pacific. So
they're all different, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Seth Deckard for joining us. He actually has to take off right now. So thank you, Seth, for joining us today and sharing your experiences.
Thank you, Ken, for having me. It was amazing seeing everyone, and yeah, it was just awesome. I'll never stop chasing.
Great
Never
to see you,
stop
Seth.
chasing.
Never stop chasing.
We need to get you back out in the field too. We got to get you some field time. Looks like you've been behind the computer too much. We got to get some color in your skin.
Same.
I'm just kidding. So you look great, Seth.
Thanks.
Well, yeah, it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome if you want to chase again this spring.
Definitely.
Love to have you out there.
Take care, guys.
Love you.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks, Seth.
See you, Seth.
Thanks, Seth.
See ya.
Yeah, it's good to see Seth too. I'm gonna have to head downstairs and eat dinner too. My mom says that the meatloaf is ready, but I can pop down there, eat the meatloaf really quick.
Tell your mom hi.
Bring us some.
Yeah, tell Susan hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, switch with her. Let her come up and do the stream.
Yeah, honestly.
Hey, mommy! You want to do
The meatloaf?
She said no.
No, oh, that's rude.
Come on.
Come on, Susan.
So the meatloaf's ready.
Lucky.
Does it look like I have a halo?
It
A little
does.
bit, yeah.
A little bit.
I've been going for that.
You still got the one blue eye and two brown eyes.
Brown.
You can still see the two different colors there.
Still got it.
Yeah, there
Okay.
it is.
Okay, Reed. So you're gonna head out and eat some meatloaf.
Yeah. I'm gonna eat
jealous.
some meatloaf, and I try to build mass in the off season, so then when I chase, then I can just kind of ride that layer. So I try to eat a lot of meatloaf, eat my mom's food here. She loves seeing you guys on here too. She's like, "Oh, look, it's Bill. Bill's on." And Terry. Terry, you should talk about your nickname, Tear Bear, and where that came from. Remember how you used to play in your den?
I think it came from you. I think you just started calling me Tear Bear one day.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
And then you called my house the den because anytime you came over, it was dimly lit, and I had I was drinking tea and I had candles going, stuff like that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, the wiener dog would come after me.
You're not the only one he came after. Yeah, he'd come after everybody.
Yeah, he would just light you up, and you came through that front door. Get real low, already low to the ground.
My girlfriend's upstairs laughing because she knows that all too well. He was a one-man dog for a long time, so when she came along, it was hard for him to get used to.
Yeah.
She said he was the devil.
Oh.
You be nice to him.
Yeah, I'd like to see you guys in person. I haven't
You
seen
too.
any of you guys. Gosh, it seems forever.
Yeah, we should try to do like a reunion thing sometime.
This is
That
a
would be
hard
awesome.
group of guys to wrangle, I know, but
I know it would be.
Do a reunion in Deadwood.
Make it happen.
oh my god, that'd be
Deadwood.
awesome.
Northern season.
Pick the least convenient location for everybody.
Right?
Yeah.
We should.
Let's do a Norman reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see you guys anytime. I would travel.
That'd be fun.
Same.
We would.
Yeah, I'd
too.
love to see you guys too.
Ken, you're out in California now, huh?
I know,
Yep,
God,
yeah.
that's got to be major difference than Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, it's a huge difference. Of course, this year with Hillary, that was kind of odd. I felt like that was more normal for me, but it was definitely very extreme. If there are thunderstorms out here, the local news channels cover people being shocked by lightning and thunder. It's a different environment. It's
That's
really
hilarious.
funny.
That
Yeah,
sounds
but-
Twilight Zone.
Gotta
It
get
is.
out there and get some of those debris flows.
Mm.
Right. I know. Those are, I think, some of your most dynamic videos, like, weather aside, like that. I mean, you can't stop watching those.
Yeah, like that one where the huge log went by.
Log,
Everybody
yeah.
always comments on the huge log. They're like, oh, that's what happens to me after Taco Bell.
Right.
That flood.
Classic.
Brown trout.
Yep. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to head down and get the meatloaf here. But I think we
your
should do this
meatloaf.
regularly. Maybe we should launch a podcast called Team Dominator and the Boys.
Sounds pretty fun. Honestly.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Love it. Well, thanks for joining us, Reed.
Yeah,
Great to hear your perspective on it. You were such of course, the central part of the series. So thank you for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me. Thanks for everything, Ken. Thanks to everybody too for coming here.
Good seeing you.
The goat.
See you.
Hopefully we could do some more storm chasing too. And we'll maybe bring Gizmo out of retirement for this spring if we do. So
That'd be fun.
thanks, everybody.
She'd love
Tell my mom that you said hi.
Yeah, dude.
Please do.
All right, never stop chasing on 3. 1, 2, 3. Never stop
Never stop
chasing.
chasing.
All right,
See ya.
peace.
I like.
Wow, guys. Well, I don't know how long you guys have, but if there are some more things you want to talk about, I'm happy to hang out, stick around a little longer. If
Does
you guys
anybody
have the
know
time.
what if the Jaguars defense is dominating? I need them to do good tonight for my fantasy.
Yeah, I need Ridley to score 11 points to make the playoffs.
Okay.
Mike,
That's
you're doing
a
fantasy
possibility.
football.
The news station I chase for puts me in just so they can bully me into trading for my good players,
Oh.
and I'm beating them all this year.
Terry, I can't help you. I have no idea.
We've got a big group of like teams that are 5 and 7, and I just need to win like the next 2 games to get into the
Mhm.
playoffs.
I was just happy to see the Eagles lose last night.
How dare you?
Dallas Cowboys, baby. Yeah, Ken. I don't know. I guess.
You mean
You
the
were
Chiefs?
asking-
You're happy to see the Chiefs lose?
No, the Eagles.
Eagles lost.
When did the Chiefs lose too?
Maybe.
They
I
did.
wasn't watching that game.
Yeah, okay.
Eagles lost to San Francisco.
Yeah, the Taylor
Was
Swift
that-
lost.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's right.
Let's give Ken some closing.
I was you were asking earlier just about favorite memories and stuff, and I just, I have such a hard time picking a singular favorite memory from our, shooting tornado chasers in 2013. First of all, like I said, I mean, it just happened so fast for me personally. Like I went from not even understanding that there was a show to being a part of the show in the blink of an eye. And then, on day one, it just kicked off like 2 weeks of tornado insanity, like one of the craziest runs of tornadoes that you could possibly have in such a short period of time. And I feel so incredibly lucky to have been involved and to have gotten to make friends with you guys, these people, even though I haven't talked to some of you. Terry, I don't know if we've talked since then, it's been so long, but like
I haven't seen Terry since then.
I still feel so close to you guys. I still feel like, we just had a really incredible experience together, and I feel like we'll be friends forever as a result of that. And it's really great. I feel so lucky to have been a part of such a great group of people working for something so cool. And also, he's not here anymore, but that was 5 years into my storm chasing career, and I was starting to really figure out what I was doing. But I think it was like the perfect time for me to come in and get to chase with, the GOAT, Reed Timmer. And like, it really just helped me cement my own art and like figure out exactly what it is that I wanted to be doing out there. And yeah, so, if I had to pick one moment, I don't think I could. It was just the whole experience was so great.
Yeah, timing was huge for everybody. It just worked out.
Mm-hmm.
I remember on May 18th, we had that long drive that day, and on the way up, Ken and I are sitting in the back seat. And he's drawing kind of the parcel theory on a piece of like cardboard we found,
Mm-hmm.
kind of teaching me thermodynamics of the storm.
Yeah.
And how that works. And then later we were looking at the radar, and the next day Kevin was showing me the same thing, kind of just teaching. I was definitely a radar and TVN at Chaser coming up to that, right? And just after that, I ended up taking some online classes on weather just because I just became so enthusiastic about learning the science behind it, and just what a great group to be around. You guys were so welcoming to teach it, and
threw you right into it, didn't we?
What's that?
Threw you right into it, didn't we?
Right. Yeah. Sitting in the back seat of when the Dominator's with you, trying to keep that server cool and dry.
Yeah.
I think I have PTSD from that. I still hate live streaming because of that.
What was that streaming platform that you were always messing with?
Was it the Dejero?
Dejero was a problem. The Pterodex. Oh, dude. I'm not good enough with technology for that to have been my job, but whatever.
What TVN had and what Seth felt was his cutting edge. I mean, way ahead of its time. And I mean, that's the thing that you run into when you do something so new and so early, is you're going to run into complications that get solved along the way. And just the fact that it worked as well as it did.
In the Faraday's cages that we call Dominators, they're tornado proof, but they're also signal proof. Inside and out. So all of our brains probably got a little bit fried from all the cell signals just bouncing around inside of it.
You could probably do it all with just a cell phone nowadays.
Yeah, no, all of Reed's YouTube streams are just a phone mounted to a dash cam, and that's probably the biggest technological advancement we've made since then. Is that the price of the cameras we were using to shoot tornado chasers, those the Canon C1s. I mean, those were really big, expensive C100s. Yeah, those are giant, really good cinema cameras. But I'm not saying my iPhone could do the exact same thing, but like, I can shoot 4K video and edit it and send it out faster than you could pull a card out of a camera. It's a whole different world now. One of my favorite moments that didn't make it on the show, though, I wanted to push this in there, is the when Reed and I were trying to work on the helium balloon launches.
Yes.
And we lost the camera into the tree and flew over the cows. And that's on YouTube. I edited a YouTube clip of that.
That was an early season chase.
That was early, yeah. No, we never got a hold of that. And helium prices are still just through the roof. So I had to put that one back on the shelf. Hi, Maddie. Hi, Miss City.
Hello.
Hello.
Happy
birthday, Maddie.
Oh, thank you.
She did have a birthday a couple days ago.
Connor, I've got a good picture.
I want to take a minute and thank you too, Ken. I mean, being a part of Storm Chasers and then transitioning to doing our own thing with Tornado Chasers, to see the level of production quality and everything that pulled together compared to something that had a large production is a big testament to you too. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing more.
Well, so someone tweeted some pretty high praise of the home episode. I guess that was the more episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Earlier today, I saw the tweet. I can't remember who it was from at the moment, but saying that he thought that that was potentially like the greatest episode of reality / documentary TV that he had ever seen. So,
which that means so much to me. And the thing is, I couldn't have done it without each of you and everyone who's not part of the stream today for whatever reason, conflicting schedules. Big shout out to Chris Whiteneck, who couldn't be here today. It was absolutely incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was really a team effort that so many of us had to do multiple jobs. You know what I mean? Like, even, Ray and Bill, you guys were new, but you were working, you were part of the team. Mike Scantlin, you were chasing, but you were also shooting. Terry, you were doing like everything. You were doing like taking the cards out of the cameras, but you were shooting, you were fixing the Dominators. And the thing is, it's like, it was such a tight team. We had such a tight budget, but because all of you were so fantastic, and I think we had a very strong vision for what this should be as a show, as a documentary, that really came through in the end. And I'm very proud of it. And, humbly, I'll say that so many people tell me that it's probably the best, most authentic long form documentary of storm chasing that's been produced. And I'm very thankful for that. So thank you guys. Thank all of you for being a part of it.
Where is it? Where can it be seen nowadays? Like, I knew we
It's-
had it on the website for a while, and then there are some episodes on YouTube. Are all the episodes on YouTube now, or
I think all the episodes except one season 1 episode is not on YouTube. But yeah, it's on YouTube. You can see it in fantastic quality, 4K. It's uploaded, and it's still being broadcast around the world to this day. I mean, which is incredible. For our little series, like our little series, it started off independent. Seth built the platform, and then it just exploded. It went on Hulu, it went on Prime Video, it went on Tubi, it went on multiple Pluto TV channels. And one day I had Pluto TV open, and it was on 2 separate channels on Pluto TV at once, and I was like, that's incredible, you know. So I think it's the little show that could.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was just gonna say I made friends for life for sure from that week.
100%, man. I'm
For
so
sure.
glad that you and Ray were
Hunter,
involved.
you and I almost
I'm
died
so
in
glad.
Hawaii together.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
like, literally. That was the closest I've come to dying.
Oh my
That
God.
was crazy. That Hawaii,
Well,
just
let's hear it.
trees falling everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were trying to document a landfalling hurricane on the Big Island for the first time ever, and we're driving to the coast, and we're in this forest of trees. It's called Lava Tree National Park, and all the trees start coming down in front of us, and literally we had to do a 5-point turn to get out of there. And as we're like bolting back, trees are coming down. There's power flashes, and these trees were multiple trunk, 10 feet wide. They would have killed us. They would absolutely would have killed us.
Super weak root systems. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
the winds were not that strong. They had
I would
no
have much
business-
rather been hit by a tornado than a tree in
Oh,
Hawaii.
Absolutely.
You know that whole area has like been wiped out by the lava flow on the eastern Big Island.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
where we were. Anyway, but point being
Bill,
is it's,
I think you got the last flight, right? Like I
we
remember
got the
that was,
last flight in.
Yeah, we're all trying to figure out how to even get there, and somehow you're able to barely make it.
Yeah, I guess we all barely made it. I think did I run into you guys in the airport in like Honolulu or something, or
Hilo.
was it in Hilo when I saw you?
Yeah,
Because I connected through Honolulu, so I wasn't sure.
Oh yeah, we met you in Hilo. Anyway, but point being is that this whole experience was life-changing as far as friends and people, and for me, the crew and the people were the number one thing about.
We were just attending yesterday, saying hi. It's another person we've stayed in touch with this entire time, right, Bill? Fish camp.
Yeah, fish camp. Anyway, yeah. So I'm grateful for that experience.
Me too, man.
Me too.
how about McGowan? Do you guys see him around town at all? Is he still chased?
He moved to Brazil this summer
What?
Oh wow.
to be with
He's in Brazil now.
he lives in Brazil with his girlfriend
Wow.
Ivy, who he met on Instagram through the storm chasing Instagram world. So, but he's loving it down there, man. He's just all he does is fly drones all day long. There are no drone regulations there, so he's just got all these just flying in the clouds, the mountains, and he sends me 30-second long drone videos every day, and I'm just jealous.
Who needs a
Hey.
Wow. 7? Just go to Brazil.
Exactly. Yeah.
Connor, I was actually earlier thinking about if you were there, and it might have been Donovan, and we tried to fly one of those big old like hexacopters I was trying out,
Mhm.
and like somehow we just lost it in the low level jet, and like we're chasing
Yeah.
it through the field. It must have gone a mile away. I have no idea where that went.
Up in like northwest Oklahoma somewhere. or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, that picture pops up every now and then because we were out in the field with the remote. And no
That's funny. When earlier when we were talking about drone technology improvements, that's actually like the incident that came to mind.
I have to say, you guys have come a long way with the probes and the stuff I see online now, the quadcopters or the drones that Reed has and stuff, and the probes. I mean, the science team's come a long way from bubble gum and popsicle sticks and scotch tape to some pretty pro looking stuff.
That's one of the things I was going to say is that one of the best things that's happened to Reed is running into Mark and teaming up with Mark, someone who knows what they're doing with all the stuff that we could never figure out. Not just measuring the stuff, but a tracking system to find it afterwards. Because how many things have we launched and never found again? That's the problem, is finding it. We can do the launching part.
Yeah.
Right.
We could deliver a package.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you delivered a Zorb into that. Was it Coleridge?
Coleridge.
Hey, I got to do that. That was fun.
You did that, right? You rolled it in, basically, essentially.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just kind of let go, and the wind took it.
I just got pulled
That
out.
Zorb is in my garage. If you want it, Bill, or it's in my garage. Yeah.
It got carried away by a flood. Actually, it was on its way to the tornado, and then I think it stopped just short, and then a flash flood carried it away. But 2014 was interesting too. The whole season was that 2 weeks, except it was a month later than the previous year, mid-June.
There was a lot of water around the Coleridge tornadoes. There were all those little valleys were over flooded, so there were a lot of county roads that went through that didn't go through because there was 10 feet of water over them. I was with the tours that year in 2014, and a couple of our escape routes were flooded. So I'm not surprised that the Zorb just hit a patch of water and just stuck. It's a lot of water
those setups with those easterly surface winds underneath, kind of moderately strong mid-level winds always go big. Not those huge troughs, but like Bennington, El Reno, Pipestone, Manchester, Pilger, all those were those types of setups. Look at that little kitty cat.
Flora.
That's Connor. He switched.
Connor lives out in Austin now. He moved down to Austin. He's in enemy territory down there.
Yeah, major enemy territory.
Hey, Texas just made the playoffs, huh?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Reed. So when we were talking about the El Reno tornado, and Ken was asking if we had ever seen what we saw before with the multiple vortices and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That made me think of it, popped into my head. Do you remember was it Wadena, Minnesota?
Yeah.
Did that kind of look similar to you too? Because I think it did to me.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, and multiple vortex. The first, you mean the Elmora Bluffton or the Wadena one?
I'm bad with the town names.
There were those two tornadoes. The first one was the real big wide one that looked a lot like El Reno. And then remember the next storm came up. We had to let that one go. Then the next storm developed, and then 5 minutes later had an EF4 on the ground coming into Wadena. And we called the 911 people, and they're like, nope, that storm had weakened. And I was like, no, it's happening right now.
Oh, yeah.
Back, we had to call 911 back 3 times to get the sirens to sound. I remember that day.
Same with that Texas tornado, Mother's Day tornado. Remember, there was no warning on those at all either.
Yeah, which
I think it was just severe. I think it was just severe thunderstorm warned, and we called it in like it's on the ground.
Was that Helix Day? That one?
Yeah. My mom was with us.
Yes.
Yeah. Or the Helix Day. Yeah, that was Young County, right? Yeah, that was a wild tornado. I think that helical vortex structure is when the dynamic pipe is about to descend. So
that was unique.
The dynamic pipe starting to go down, then you get a jet-like vortex just pumping into it because of the low pressure, and then it plants, and then you see it go around the periphery like that helical deal. So I think that's when it's planting.
The funny thing about that tornado was a couple hours before you were talking about Howie Bluestein's helical vortice paper or something about it.
Dr. Fiedler, yeah.
Was it Dr. Fiedler? I thought it was
Fiedler. I think Fiedler's the 2007. He used that one with Joel and I on the Ellis County tornado with the helical vortices. But the Andover tornado, you could kind of see that the dynamic pipe would get closer, and you'd have just a singular jet-like vortex. Then it would plant and then get diffused around the outside, and then it would kind of regroup and just cycle like that 3 or 4 times.
So Reed, how's the meatloaf?
It was good. Yeah, really good. Yeah, she did. Yeah, that's good. I'm your 43-year-old that's living at his mom's house these days. So meatloaf, spaghetti, and everything too. Life is easy here for Gizmo and I, because Gizmo's in retirement. She likes the same routine every day and gets a lot of treats from Mom. Yeah, it's really good for Gizmo. She never really had that routine because I never had one. So Gizmo was just always kind of along for along for the ride all those years. She got pretty good at sneaking into hotels, though. Like since 2015 and on, I would sneak her into hotels. 2017 and on.
You just put her in a blanket or something, right?
He had a dog bed that he would fold her up in a little taco and just carry it.
Yeah.
I've definitely done it, probably with Gizmo, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. She almost got Maria and I kicked out of Yellowstone National Park one time. Gizmo. It was a wild story.
Was she taking on a grizzly?
Well, it was at a hotel that wouldn't allow pets, and so he's like, she has to sleep in the parking lot. So I made her this huge bed inside the car, like this poofy bed and everything. And Gizmo would not have that, of course. She had to be inside the hotel, so she pretty much shut down the whole hotel. Like the guy called, there's more to the story too, but it's going south pretty fast.
We've shut down a couple of hotels before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know you guys did with Extreme Tornado Tours.
Oh, yeah. Boner Springs, Kansas. Yes.
A little bit of dishwashing detergent.
Oh, yeah.
Some of those videos from Mike's ETT run are just incredible.
Well, it wasn't just to make the hot tub overflow. It was to clean it as well, because I don't trust hotel hot tubs. So.
Yeah, you can easily get folliculitis from hot tubs.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's when each little pore gets inflamed. Gets infected. I think folliculitis is pretty bad. But I know.
Did your hot tub give that to you?
Connor caught it from our hot tub.
Yeah, that was my bad though. That hot tub hadn't been used in like I don't know how long. It had been empty, and I just decided
2 years
to fill it with the hose and jump on in. But there were like 3 of us that used the hot tub that night. As far as I know, I'm the only one who got folliculitis from it. But yeah, it was not good.
You got a rash.
Yeah, my thighs and my buttocks were not looking good. Oh, here we got
the cheeks.
Oh,
there's Moni.
Big dog.
Moni.
Miss Moni.
What a cute dog.
How many tornadoes has Moni seen?
She's seen 3.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, Mona's seen 3 tornadoes. She saw what, a little white rope. No, maybe has she seen 2 or 3?
I think 3. She saw the one with Lance.
And then the white rope. Did she wasn't in Sulphur Springs, was she?
No.
That would have been crazy.
There was another one that was like really late.
Okay, yeah, no, Mona's definitely seen 2 or 3 tornadoes.
You always got to double it, so she's really seen 4 to 6.
Yeah. Yeah, the cats, unfortunately, we haven't managed to get them any tornadoes yet, but not for lack of
are not tornado friendly pets.
Mr. Kitty actually is.
Mr. Kitty rode on our dashboard all the way to Denver.
Really?
He's like a dog. He's like a dog.
I'm really impressed.
He's weird.
Yeah, he's a good one. He's a real one right there.
Doesn't she start kneading the carpet soon, or doesn't she get kind of sexual with remember she was kneading or something the other day? What was that was happening?
That's just what cats do.
Yeah, he's fixed, but he loves a good soft blanket.
Don't we all? Remember the pig?
The pig.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask if the pig's still around.
Yeah, I guess it's a Santa Claus hedgehog now, though.
Oh no, she's still doing it. I
the
thought you were punishing her.
Dominating.
No, she still does it.
Dominating.
I've just let her do it now for
let it happen.
Many years. So I celebrate it now.
Yeah, I mean you have to
dominate.
It means that she's feeling good too when she does it now. So
serotonin.
Support it. She does it a lot now. I mean, she's doing great these days, except for when her pancreas goes south. So
how old is Gizmo?
She's closing in on 15.
Wow.
Those little Yorkies live into their 20s, right?
Yeah, the oldest ever was 27. It was the oldest dog that's ever lived for a while.
Wow.
So, yeah. She beat cancer like 4 years ago too.
Mm-hmm.
Had a bunch of surgeries, broke her paw, had a peg leg when she was inside of a tornado. She had this little pink cast on the end.
It was so cute.
I remember that.
But yeah, then she survived a lot of chasing too. chicken nuggets and all that. So she eats she's eaten a lot of fast food over the years. Because it was the only thing that she would eat for a while. I'd have to get McDonald's nuggets and then peel the wrapper off, and then you just have that like little white nugget on the inside.
The Taco Bell Pita chicken.
It didn't look like chicken, that's for sure. I think
Chicken mush. Yeah.
they say they're earlobes, right? That's what I heard.
Aren't you sponsored by
I'd rather not talk
Mr.
about
Varsity Jacket?
No, I just got the jacket because I ate a lot of McRibs in a row.
Oh,
They just
I
sent
thought
me.
maybe-
They're like, "Hey, we're with marketing." I thought it was a scam, and they're like, "What's your address? We want to send you a little present." And I was like, "Oh, what the hell? Here's my address." And then 2 weeks later, that jacket arrived.
that's a smart move by somebody,
Right? Smart move by McDonald's.
right?
Yeah, it's my favorite jacket. Now I wear it to like functions and stuff. You know, like I was trying to wander around.
Sunday's best.
I was loitering at McDonald's wearing it because I was trying to get them to give me a free meal. So I was like wandering around the drive-thru with the jacket.
Don't you know who I am? I have the jacket.
I am Mr. McRib.
You pull it open and it's lined with like a free lifetime supply of McNuggets. Like,
Right.
look at this.
Coupons.
It's like getting the golden ticket.
There you go.
Well, everyone, we've been here almost 2 hours. This has been absolutely amazing. I wanted to give everyone a chance to kind of wrap things up. I guess final thoughts on the series Tornado Chasers. What do you think is unique to Tornado Chasers? What's great about it, and why does the world need it again? Well,
I think, as far as what was unique about it, like you touched on earlier, it's really just such a raw, realistic depiction of storm chasing. And, we got super fortunate with season 2 that it got, we had the opportunity to just have an absolute tornado fest for 2 weeks. But, that came along with everything that you can expect out of storm chasing, the good and the bad, and I think it probably gave viewers a really good opportunity to just see everything that we have to deal with and get to deal with. And I already said it, but I had so much fun making that show. And as far as the world needing it again, I sure hope so. I think it would be a great opportunity to just keep doing that. But I know I myself, I would love that chance. So if we can put it together, I'm all on board.
I know it was a big inspiration for a lot of people after that. Aaron Rigsby, for instance, is fairly young and new and is, now, televised. And there's a lot of people that are making an impact based on, what they saw on that show and how it made them feel and what they wanted to do with their life careers even. And so I just, like you said, Connor, it's so raw and authentic. There's not made up stories, to make it more dramatic. It is what it is.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things you guys captured so well when it was produced. And there's a lot of drive time. There's a lot of off time. There's a lot of other things, a lot of planning that goes into it too, that, I think you still captured, that you captured the essence of that too, to bring that in. And it just, I don't know, it was real. And so, yeah, absolutely. Season 3 needs to happen
It was real.
Right.
It was real. And it was the best 2 weeks of storm chasing that we probably could have had. And just happened to have a bunch of professional cameramen along and such a good behind the scenes structure to make such an amazing product out of, such an amazing couple of weeks in our lives. And just the fact that just seeing all the tornadoes was a whole different thing. Like it was an amazing 2 weeks of storm chasing for me personally, but to be, riding in a car with some of my best friends in the world who just happen to be the best storm chasers on the planet. I'm always going to look back on 2013 fondly, even though there are some really bad things that happened to the storm chasing world that year. It's always going to be one of those highlights of my entire life. It's always going to be. And, I've chased a lot since then. I've chased with Reed a lot since then. I've chased with Connor a lot since then. But just, being so young in that developmental storm chasing phase, and then, kind of being pushed out into the world to chase on my own without these guys. I learned a lot chasing with you guys. Joel, I learned a lot from Joel and Reed and Dick, especially in those early years. And I wouldn't be me without you guys, 1,000%.
Word. I do want to say you just touched on, the professional cameramen, Chris Whiteneck, Jason Bagby, both guys that I personally had never met before we did this show. Really just two awesome guys to have around. I enjoyed both of them very much. And, Bags, I'm so glad that he was able to send in a video message for us today. Wish we could have gotten a chance to actually chat and catch up. Fortunately, we are still Facebook friends, so we still have a bit of interaction here and there. But yeah, man, I'd love to get the whole team together.
Yeah, I wish we could have had Whiteneck on this. Chris Whiteneck was our camera guy in the Dominator and also in Tornado Chasers too, and during Storm Rising too, a show that we did recently during the pandemic in 2020. So it kind of felt like old times a little bit out there, and
that's right.
Some of those intercepts, even though 2020 was kind of a slow season. But yeah, working with all those professionals and our best friends, and the intercepts we went through, the legendary tornadoes that we saw, and kind of going through a lot of the good and the bad. And I was going through kind of a tough time in my life too back then, and so having you guys around and intercepting those tornadoes was probably a lifesaver, literally. So it was pretty awesome chasing down all those tornadoes with you guys, and just felt like we were a band on the road almost, working on our own project and our own self-funded production, and working with
Grassroots.
Ken after that beginning. I thought it was great. And also Terry, you did such a good job and keeping the vehicle running and getting it fixed and everything too, and sometimes in the middle of the night getting that vehicle rolling again. So sorry I was so hard on those vehicles all those years, but
Harry's a workhorse, man, out there getting things done.
Harry made it happen.
Hey,
yeah,
if we do another season, I'm going to take a more relaxed approach. I think. I think I would still work hard, but I took a lot on my shoulders to try to make this whole thing succeed, and I think it came across sometimes maybe a little harsh. But
no, I don't think so at all. We needed that anyway.
We did need that a lot.
Yeah, we
did great work.
More of that, if anything. But no, I don't think it came across that way at all.
All right.
Good heavens.
No, I think what Connor, Ray, what everyone said about being authentic is absolutely right. That's a word that I would choose. And I think the team as a whole, we touched on it several times. Everybody worked together to do different things. I was just there for a week, but it was a pretty important week. But and everybody was incredibly welcoming and have become lifelong friends since. So I'm just grateful to have been a part of it. And if there's ever a second one, I'm in.
Nice.
That's awesome. Well, a long time ago, Reed and I and Joel embarked on a very small, much smaller production called Tornado Glory. And I remember we did that, and that was done, and that went to PBS. And I said after that was about 1/10 of what I wanted to do. I was very proud of it, but it only accomplished 1/10 of what I wanted to do. I felt like the second season of Tornado Chasers got all the way up to 9/10 of what I'd want to do in a series like that. So there's still a little more, but I'm very proud of it, and I'm very honored to know you, Reed. My gosh, just from college days, you could tell everyone. I knew Reed from college, and he was already talking about being the crocodile hunter of natural phenomena, and he was already had shows in his brain of what he wanted to do and everything, and very easy to see that this guy was not only going to be a great student, very intelligent with the science, but also a great storm chaser and a great TV personality. And so I knew that we had to get him in front of a camera, and I'm glad we did. And Connor, I want to say thank you for jumping in just into that season, just almost sight unseen. And you did, you were put into very difficult circumstances.
It was my absolute honor. And like I said, guys, if we did it again, I'll be coming in with a different mentality if we do it again. I truly was just there to chase. I had no idea what was going on.
That's the
outside of
mentality that worked, though. I think. That was perfect.
I mean, I'm always going to be a chaser number one. Like that's always where I'm coming from.
You
but-
got all the tools. Remember that. You'll always have all the tools. I was always said about Connor.
Yes, sir.
That's Connor McCrorey. He's got all the tools.
It was
Connor,
It was
you
my
did
pleasure.
a great job.
I was so
Very
fortunate to
incredible
get to
job.
work with all y'all. It was so wonderful.
A unique position to be in. You did amazing.
Even putting the Dominator one of that pancake spin would have been an awesome part of the show, I think.
I mean, like you
one
were
of the
saying
worst
too,
drivers, yeah, I think, are very, yeah. I mean, but you definitely became a great driver, I think, during that too.
like Ken was saying, it's like we all had elements, and like having chaser instincts and things like that is all part of the piece, too, along with everything else.
Right. Capture that authenticity. Ray, I want to thank you not only for helping it happen. I mean, like you literally helped to make this happen by backing it on Kickstarter, but then you were a part of it. You were a part of it to make it happen. And I'll say this about Bill too. I mean, the audience, when they watch the series, they could watch through your eyes. And thank you so much for being so interested. You were very interested in learning as much of the science as you could. And you were just wanting to dive so much into this process. And I think that really came through in the series. And so really was an honor to meet you and an honor to have you as part of the show. Mike Scantlin.
Great on camera. Weren't they so good on camera?
Yeah, just natural.
Bill, you guys were so fantastic. I'm so glad you guys were involved. It was fun.
You were hanging out windows, Mike, like getting those shots.
I'd like to think I've gotten better at shooting tornadoes since then. I can't imagine how many hours you spent stabilizing my 5D footage. But if I could, if I had a time machine right here, I would step in it and I would go back to Edmond and be out the hatch in Edmond as the tornado crossed 35. It's just one of the best moments of my life, and a lot of weird stuff kind of came together for me to be in that moment, and I'm just so grateful to have been a part of it.
Well, you kind of snuck into the first season of Tornado Chasers, and then you were like a really full part of the second season, and you always had great commentary. And I think the audience, we could always come back to you to kind of provide this counterpoint, this observational counterpoint to like Reed and what he was doing, and just it was really a great dynamic, I think. Very funny. You're very funny too. So
a little too negative. If I could go back in time, I would be less negative.
No,
I was kind of a little B word a lot of times.
Listen to all of us.
I was just a kid.
I was too. I mean, that's just when you're on the road that much, it's going to be natural to.
I guess so.
Be that.
I don't know what's wrong with you guys. I was happy the whole time.
I was pretty happy too.
Well, I also want to say Bill Beach. I think it was like, I just remember you and Ray, we were getting Reed, remember, like we were getting like these messages during the Kickstarter campaign, and it's like, oh man, these guys actually want to help back the show. And we were just so excited. And both you guys, when you came out, we were just so excited, and you turned out to be the nicest, most amazing people of all time. You guys could have been super haughty, aloof, demanding, like, but you weren't. And
ideals.
Right.
They did fit right in, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Truly, yes.
And the odds of that are very, very unlikely.
Right. I guess they are, right?
Right. But you always had very human observations of everything going on. You always absorbed everything, and I think gave the audience like a really heart perspective on what was going on. And both of you were just absolutely fantastic. You guys had your GoPros, and it was great. I have that.
I remember
we've got too many clips here, but man, you guys were all into it and stuff. But so Bill, thank you so much for being such an amazing part of the series, backing it, but also being an instrumental part of why it was so successful.
Loved it. It was
absolutely.
Yeah.
Love you.
And then Terry Bear, Terry, man, you were I have to say, I relied a lot on Chris Whiteneck. He was incredible. He's not here. Absolutely gifted. Relied a lot on Jason Bagby, who was just thrown into it as well. But Terry, you were very unique because you were a chaser. You'd been there. You were you were working on Dominators. You were working with me behind the scenes, working with footage. You were a graphic designer. I called you a lot. I think I was in the throes of post-production, and I would call you a lot to bounce ideas off of. I think we were bouncing off even names of episodes and stuff, but I just want to thank you. You were like an indispensable part of the series, and you were another character I think that provided constant sort of like a counterpoint to Reed and his energy. And you were like, it was like this amazing sounding board and for the audience, and a way for the audience to get bearings on like just the fantastic stuff that was happening during the series. And so thank you for all you did.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. all
Data
you guys.
management.
Oh, never forget that window blowout. One of the best moments of my life.
Oh my God.
Data
that was
management.
Oh,
Data
Right.
management is one of the hardest parts of storm chasing. Like,
remember those people that were coming up to the car to see if to get Terry's autograph, and they went boom, blew up, and they just away.
Reed, I don't know if you were here. I was trying to remember what town we were in. That was in Nebraska, right? Like Hyannis or Alliance or something. Like,
Yeah, it was in the Panhandle, Bridgeport, maybe.
wow.
Alliance. I bet it was probably Alliance.
Yeah,
Big place up there.
somewhere up there for sure.
Wish we ate more Runza back in the day in Nebraska.
Do you?
Yeah, I love Runza.
Well, Ken, I was going to say, none of this would have happened without you. With one, you started the Kickstarter fundraiser thing. You're incredible producer, filmmaker. Just you were a jack of all trades. And
so professional.
What a
thank you for
brilliant creative
doing
mind.
it. Your brilliance pulled it off. So
Yeah,
Absolutely.
pulling all that together and kind of the one-man post-production. Even I know you had it
Right.
a little bit, but yeah, pulling that together is incredible. Thank you.
I don't know
Ken.
if people realize how many cameras we had running, because we had multiple people doing handheld, but we had dashboard cameras in both directions, corner cube cameras. I mean, every vehicle had 5 or 6 cameras running, and
Right.
to not just sift through the footage to put the show together, but to, I mean, just managing all the data on its own is a
Plus
nightmare.
the audio too, the microphones. We were all mic'd.
Oh, right, the audio is
Mhm.
we're
separate.
all mic'd.
What a nightmare.
Even
Shout out
our
to
more
Heidi.
business
GoPros on
than
our
you realize.
heads, right? You had that footage too.
Ken and Heidi, I know we're doing big work behind the scenes. So.
How many hard
Yeah.
drives is that? Like 6 hard drives just for one season? Something
We had 4 was it 4 or 6 terabyte hard drives, and that's just regular HD footage.
Wow.
Nowadays it'd be
Jesus.
more, but
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, man, you guys are making me nervous just thinking about all that, getting it done. No, but it was great. I have to thank Heidi Farrar and Landon Bittner and Jacob Bartels. They were great assistant editors behind the scenes. And Reed, thank you again for bringing me back, for thinking of the show, and for bringing me back.
Of course, thank you. Thanks for having me for this. It was awesome. Thanks for getting everybody together too. Awesome to see everybody here.
Yeah, this is good.
Definitely.
Yes, great to see everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. Everyone in the comments, thank you for everyone who gave super chats. And yeah, maybe we'll have to do another one sometime. We'll definitely have to get together in person sometime, and maybe
sure,
we'll get
I'm
together
down.
to shoot something.
Let's do it.
Never stop chasing. That's most important.
All right,
That's right.
Never stop
On
chasing.
3.
Jason.
Thanks.
All right, never stop chasing. Should we
Never
say
stop
it? 1,
chasing.
2, 3.
Never
Are we-
Never stop
Chasing.
chasing. I love your
Never
bike.
stop.
Chasing, stop, never.
Never.
Wow.
All right,
Never.
everyone. Have a great night. It was a lot of fun, and we'll see you next time.
right.
Keep tuned to Reed's social media, everyone's social media, so you can be alerted the next time something like this happens. All
Word.
right, we'll see you. All right, bye.